One of the defining features of Terry Gilliam films is his love for wide-angle lenses. He just really likes to distort reality. And why not? It's a really cool look that definitely has its place in storytelling. Now, while the lenses that Terry Gilliam uses are tens of thousands of dollars, we don't have to pay quite that much in order to play with the same focal lengths. I give you the 11mm TF.3 full-frame lens from Irix. This is a beefy cinema lens that is weather-sealed, built like a tank, and if you've ever used an Irix Cine lens or seen my review of the 30mm version, you know these things are worth every penny. For the price, I'm not sure you can beat them. They're just that good. Now, while there were plenty other focal lengths to choose from, I wanted to check out something that's a little bit more of a specialty lens. Something you could use for cinema or other applications where a wide lens is going to be in your best interest. Now, the interesting thing about wide-angle lenses is it is a lot more difficult to focus. Despite what your t-stop is at, it is fairly difficult to see where the focus roll-off is, so you'll absolutely want to have focus peaking on if you're doing this in camera and without someone else pulling focus for you. Now, speaking of focus, if you're one of those people who absolutely hates focus breathing, it's hardly noticeable on these lenses at all, and the focus and t-stop rings are incredibly smooth on these. Just buttery smooth. Now, there are only a couple downsides that I've run into with these lenses. One is that the cap on the front is extremely easy to remove. Now, if this lens is only living in a case and then coming out and going straight on a camera, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But if you're going to have these in a camera bag where they could potentially roll around a little bit, or you want to put the cap on a camera on a tripod and it's going to be moving around, there's a chance it could get bumped and just fall right off. Another thing to be aware of is the glass on the lens itself. Because this is such an extreme wide angle, the glass actually curves in front of the lens casing, which means it's more susceptible to damage, so you do want to pay a little closer attention to these lenses. Fortunately, there is a lens hood that kind of protects that, and it's actually a magnetic hood, which is okay. I haven't had any problems with it. It does kind of come off a little bit easily, but in practice, even when I've gone on hikes and backpacked with this equipment, because I do a lot of outdoor stuff, I actually haven't had it fall off on me, which I was surprised by. Of course, if you want a little extra security, you could get a thin piece of gaff tape or something and just put it right on the edge of the lens there. Now, lastly, I will say because of the shape of the glass, it does make it a little more difficult to use smaller matte boxes. For instance, I have the Polar Pro Base Camp here, and just because of where the glass sits in the filter holder, it will not butt up to this lens. So just be aware of that before buying this lens if you're planning on using this with a matte box or filters. So a couple different ways you can use this lens. I really like it for that discombobulated sort of shot where you have it pointed directly at your actor or directly away from them and have their hands in the shots. Another practical way you can use it is if you're shooting interiors, like you want to shoot in a living room and you want to get the entire room and it's very tight, like the room itself isn't that large. That allows you to get those kinds of shots. As for me, most recently, I was over on the West Coast in the Pacific Northwest, and I was able to get these epic wide shots of the mountains without having to do as much panning because I could cover more of it. Now, do be aware that when you are using such a wide lens, it is better to have things closer to you in the foreground that you're focusing on rather than further away, because the further away those objects are, the smaller they're going to be as compared to a lens that's, say, a 50mm or 100mm. Like a mountain range out in the distance is going to look like absolutely nothing without doing a lot of panning. Now, because there was a huge range of mountains, it was great. But if there was only a small group of mountains or there was one particular peak that I wanted to focus on, obviously this isn't going to be a great choice because with it being so wide, anything that's off in the distance, it's going to get small very, very quickly and it's just not going to do it justice. So this obviously isn't going to be, say, a one and done sort of lens. Now, on that same Pacific Northwest trip, we experienced a lot of weather, and I had no issues pulling this out, knowing that it was weather sealed. It rained quite a bit on this. I'm not going to say it was a torrential downpour, but it was a kind of a steady soaking rain, and I had absolutely no issues with this. No moisture got inside of the lens. There was no dust contamination after going on long hikes. It just worked beautifully. This is the second Irix lens that I've tested and reviewed, and I have to say, I'm not in the least bit disappointed. These are absolutely fantastic lenses, and you may even want to watch my 30mm review that I did a while back. I even shot a little horror film with it, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and click right here. Or here, whichever side it's on. I don't know. In any case, I'll drop a link to where you can find this lens in the description below. But that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.